Hello everyone, welcome to Maych TV. What's happening? Wow, yes, the Champions League draw has been done for the quarters and for the semi-finals. The road to Istanbul is laid out in front of us. And yet it is not to borrow a Terminator expression, it's not a darkened highway. The future is not unset. The future is set. We will play Real Madrid in 2 legs in a couple of weeks' time. And then if we get through that, we will have the winner of either Chelsea or Porto in the semi-finals. And I don't know whether I'm the only one, but I'm getting some major 2005 vibes over this one, of course. Chelsea potentially in the semi-final. Istanbul, the location of the final. And yeah, oh my God. I just... Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'll get through as many as possible. I've got a little bit of time. I'm doing a Red Men React show. We're going to do like half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. It depends how we run away with ourselves on the redmentv.com shortly. But I've got a bit of time and I just thought I'd just kind of sit here and talk to you guys for a bit because wow. We were all looking at who the potentials were. And I was looking at who we could get. And the teams I desperately would have been happiest to avoid were Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich number 1. Actually, no, Man City number 1 because English team playing English teams in Europe is boring. They're also brilliant, and right now I think they would beat us. Bayern Munich just fractionally below that because they're just amazing, reigning European and world champions. They are where we were a year ago, and I would never have wanted a team like Liverpool at this point. And then, okay, yeah, we did a show the other day, didn't we? I'm talking about who we were fearing, and Dortmund were in the conversation because of Haaland, etc. But for me, it was Paris Saint-Germain or Chelsea were the 2 other teams that really were up there because, of course, PSG have the ability with Mbappe, and if Neymar comes back, and Neymar, of course, to just take a game away from you. We saw it firsthand when we played them away from home in the group stage a couple of years ago. And Chelsea, just because again, English team boring, but also because I think that Tuchel has the ability to engineer wins over us, which is obviously a major issue. When you looked at who I really wanted, Porto were the team I think everyone wanted because, look, I know they did a brilliant job getting past Juventus, but they would be classed as the weakest team remaining in that draw, you know. And that's not just, that's a bit of personal opinion. Liverpool have done them twice in recent years. And I've really done them. But in terms of the statistics and where they ranked of the teams that were remaining, they were the weakest team in the draw. But no one was really talking about Real Madrid. But I was looking at that and going, what you want, the ideal world scenario for me anyway, was a glamour tie, but not necessarily like one where you are just going to get battered. And, you know, I think PSG, Bayern Munich and City at this point, you know, I'd quite like to just let Liverpool centre-halves prove that they can stay fit for a few games and maybe get to a where you can get Jordan Henderson back up and running and Matt Sharp as well before you start having to take on superpowers. And Real Madrid are a superpower, make no mistakes. I'm not trying to say that Real Madrid are not going to give Liverpool a ridiculously stern test in all this. But I looked at Real Madrid and said, okay, they're not the team that they were in Kiev. You know, that was very much the last hurrah of that side, wasn't it? And they've not gotten better since winning the European Cup. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo's moved on. Benzema's now been made the main man again, and he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. But it has a little touch of, and everyone's talking about, by the way, Real Madrid and Kiev, but people aren't remembering going back to 2008, 2009 when Liverpool played them. And I feel a little bit about Real Madrid at the moment is it reminds me a little bit of that side, the post-Galacticos era Real Madrid. And this is like the post-second coming of the Galacticos. I know they've got Zidane back in charge, and obviously Benzema. They've got some brilliant players. Sergio Ramos is still really good at what he does, but Varane really good at what he does. They've got you know, in Kroos, Modric and Casemiro, that's still a brilliant midfield 3, make no mistake about it. But it has a little bit of, in 2008, 2009, they came to us, I remember their chairman at the time coming out and saying they were going to, I think they used a Spanish expression, and it basically translated to dick them in the eye. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. He wants to dick us in the eye. but they come off the back of the Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy, Zidane, McManaman, Beckham era, and they had Robin and Raul. And Raul had been there the whole time, and Raul was absolutely brilliant. You know, he was their top goal scorer. He was the record Champions League top goal scorer around that time still as well, before the Ronaldo reign. And he'd come back into the team, and he was doing really well for them domestically, but it was quite clear that they hadn't got onto that they weren't quite the same level of team anymore. And I did a video on this a few weeks ago called The Simple Reason Why Liverpool Are Struggling. If you haven't checked that out, go and check that out. But it's a concept called the crappening. And basically what it is you've still got a number of your key stars, a number of your players are still there, but they're a little bit older, they're a little bit slower, they've got a few more miles on the clock. And some of your major players have either moved on, or the players you brought them in haven't quite lived up to the hype. And that feels like where Real Madrid are at right now. And look, Liverpool are kind of the same as well. Not having Virgil van Dijk, Gomez, Matip has significantly weakened our defence without a doubt. So I don't think Liverpool are the resolute unit that we've been over the last few years. But I look at this tie, and why I'm so made up with this as a draw is because you've got a little bit of that. Real Madrid are not quite what they once were. Liverpool are not quite what they were, but all of our stars are very much in the prime of their careers. They've gotten better since Kiev. I mean, yes, Salah scored less goals, but you get what I mean. Mane, Firmino, Salah, still from that team. Jordan Henderson's better in that team. Since then, we've brought in, obviously Virgil van Dijk was there, who we won't have, but it was his first half season at the club. We've got Alisson in goal now, so we haven't got a goalie who we just don't have Karius in goal anymore. Trent's better, Robbo's better. This is my point, is that there's still some weaknesses to Liverpool. I think Liverpool are a better entity, and I think there's a real sense, and this is the overriding point of this video, there's a wonderful revenge story brewing here. Wonderful, it's delicious. You could literally bake it into a cake and slice it up and dine out on it for the entire time between now and those games, because the Ramos thing, this is going to be Ramos's last hit, and Salah is the kind of player who could, you know, he could make a couple more Champions League finals, you know, or quarters or semis before he starts to really start to wane on his powers. I love that. I just love the story. They're going to have that too, but it has all the hallmarks of we were the young fighter fighting against the seasoned veteran, and the seasoned veteran used all his wiles and he got the win over us. And we've come back, and now we're on top. It's Darth Vader fighting Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars: A New Hope, not in Revenge of the Sith. You know, we were once the youngsters, the up and coming, the pretenders to the throne, and now we're the masters. And I just look. If nothing else, it's not Liverpool at the peak of their powers, which means I'm not confident. I'm not super confident Liverpool will batter Real Madrid. None of that. This is not what this is about. It's about excitement, it's about getting buzzing for football again. And Liverpool have had a crap season. We've had a crap time of it. It's not because we haven't had things to look forward to. And the video I did the other week about whether number 7's possible is about that. It's about possibilities, about dreams. And I think that dream would have been a lot harder if we had Bayern Munich, City, Chelsea, or PSG. You look at the way the draw's borne out, and I can't help but be optimistic. I think we should all be as upbeat, not cocky, not not knobheads about it in any way, shape or form, but there's plenty of reason for now we can talk, because the semi-finals there, and it's Istanbul at the final, and I've seen people in the comments saying, I'll get to some of your comments now actually, I've seen people talking about it. I said before, there's pure 2005 vibes about this. Struggle to make top four, really, we just couldn't string enough wins together to usurp Everton of all teams into 4th place, but then we went on this Champions League, we didn't finish in the top 4 places. So, you know, what did they it's a sort of like Moses said come forth, and Rafa said no, we'll win the cup instead. It was like the banner or whatever at the time. You know, we've got the chance to do that, and it's still very far removed. You know, we're still 4 games away from a final, and look, you could draw, you've got to get past Real Madrid, and then you've got to get past either Chelsea or Porto. But if you were to cherry pick your draw, it's pretty much out of what Porto or Real Madrid would have been my preferential choice. and then getting an English team in a semi-final rather than a quarter-final of being Chelsea, I think will happen. Look, I've seen a comment there actually from Boo Ridder saying we don't have Anfield to help push us to the final. Yeah, but Real Madrid don't have the Bernabeu. They literally don't have the Bernabeu. They're not even playing the games in their stadium at this point. They're playing it in like is it Castilla's ground or the training ground or whatever. So they don't have that. Nobody's got any of that. But what we also have, and whether I'm not saying I'm going to necessarily back this as a point, but I'm not against, you know, as long as it's socially distanced, a coach greeting of some description. There'll be something. There will be a power that comes with it, and there is a thing to coming into major European competitions. And Real Madrid have that as well, by the way. But I think both teams, with those things stripped away from them, with the fans thing stripped away from them, it boils down to who's going to fight and who's going to give more on those days in those games. And I think both teams are not at the level they're at, but I think the players that Liverpool have got who are their best players are closer to their absolute prime than Real Madrid, and those players will be so hurt and so wounded still from Kiev. Mohamed Salah going up against Sergio Ramos. I want him, and I'm seeing people saying like nasty things and violent things. No. Don't beat him with that. Beat him by being better than him. Just go out there and just pull his pants down and run rings around him, nutmeg him and slot the ball and knock them out. That's the kind of thing I'm going for, and that's what I'm excited for. I love stories in football, and the fact that you've got Jurgen Klopp going up against the team that beat him in his first Champions League final with Liverpool, you know, Mohamed Salah going up against Sergio Ramos, all the Liverpool players that were there going up against the same. There's as many players on both sides who will have that in their memory. And then potentially you've got like Thomas Tuchel potentially in a semi-final. There's obviously some history with Porto, and it leads to what could be either a Man City or a Bayern Munich final. Like Bayern Munich in the final, the team that knocked them out, that beat them in the final for Dortmund as well. Just absolutely, it's just delicious. It's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful world, and I'm properly excited for it. How excited are you? Let me know in the comments. Absolutely just amazing. Subs, what they're saying, trophy coming back to Anfield. Owen McMahon is saying revenge will be sweet. ASM Madrid's only 13 to be Benzema. Sounds mad, but I would go with our most energetic midfield. Modric and Kroos about 50. They won't be able to hack it. Yeah, let's hope so, mate. And yeah, Jeremiah B saying Salah versus Ramos. Big games on the horizon. This is what we live for. This is why we do footy. This is why you get in the Champions League. It's to have big, exciting games to get like all wound up about. Yes, and I am very, very much hyped for this. We've got a top 4 place to fight for, and we've got a place in the semi-finals to fight for as well, the Champions League. Can't wait. What a turnaround in like 10 days. Yeah, just genuinely brilliant. How are you feeling? Let me know in the comments. Drop a like on the video if you don't mind as well. That would be absolutely amazing. If you think Liverpool can make it to the semis and even beyond, drop a like on the video right now. Yeah, there's also a video featuring me. I've done the whole DL show over on the Super 6 channel. Go and check that out. And I'm about to do a more in-depth show on the redmentv.com. So if you want some documentaries to keep you occupied over the weekend while you miss some footy, and you want some big in-depth chat with a bunch of us talking about what this means for Liverpool and our chances and all that kind of stuff, go to redmentv.com, sign up now, and get Redmen Reacts to the Champions League quarter-final and semi-final draw. You guys are amazing. Hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. I'll be back with some more videos, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. That would be great. And yes, I'll be hopefully having an amazing weekend. You will too. Up the mighty Champions League quarter-final Reds. Yeah, nice one. Ta-ra.